There's a new me coming out, and I just have to live, and I wanna give. I'm completely positive. I think this time around I am gonna do it like you never knew it. Oh, I'll make it through. The time has come for me to break out of the shell. I have to shout that I am coming out. I'm coming out. I want the world to know.
Welcome to the show Never Too Late Ever, where we focus on making the next chapter of your life the very best chapter ever. I am your host, Lorraine Hoving, and I am glad you're here today. This day will change your life. Open your heart, your ears, and listen, and you may find a gem, a treasure that you can apply to your life today. And today I'm just thrilled to have Dr. Shelly back with us. Hi, Dr. Shelly.
Hi, Lorraine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, as if you were here last week, and if you weren't, I want you to go listen to that broadcast a week previous to this week and listen to Dr. Shelly as she had her cancer diagnosis and what she did, because I think it's an amazing. She threw a party before and she threw a party after. And I think that will speak to somebody out there. I just really believe that. So look up that. Today we are happy to have her back again. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She is a natural health educator specializing in women's vitality and well-being. She is a researcher, a multi-published author. She holds a degree in biology, and she actually achieved a doctorate at the age of 50. Her doctorate was focused on women leaders over the age of 65, which would be me, and that's Dr. Shelly as well. This is the best time of our life, isn't it?
Absolutely.
She has been a birth doula, a grief counselor, and understands women's issues from pregnancy and birth to vital aging and loss. She uses her passion for education and natural wellness and helps women 50 and over rethink aging from a time of decline to a time of growth and strategy. She wants to empower you out there to take control of your physical, your emotional health, to live a vital, purpose-filled life at any age. Now that sounds like a plan, because as I get older, I feel more vital and more alive, but I think more than ever, I see that it begins up in your head, your mindset. Do you think that too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see too many people who say, oh, I'm old, and therefore when things start to happen, like aches or pains or things or whatever that happen to them, they don't do anything proactive about it, either to prevent it or to take care of it. They just think, oh, it's because I'm getting older.
Right.
And so it becomes a cycle that way. So, oh, I'm getting older, therefore it's going to happen anyway, therefore I won't do anything about it, therefore it gets worse, therefore I'm getting older, etc. So yeah, I think if we take care of our minds and we say, no, this does not have to happen. There are too many people out there who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, hundreds, who are still out there and are active and are doing things. Doesn't mean because as I said last week, I'm 68. So just because I'm 68 doesn't mean that I can't be doing another Spartan race, or I can't be out doing my jazzercise stuff, 5 or 6 times a week, or I can't be going to my painting class, all the different things that we do anyway. The age has nothing to do with it.
Right. And I think oftentimes, so for you out there in the audience, maybe you have resigned in some ways and think this is just the way it is. Things are not going to get better. I can't lose the last 20 or 30 pounds. What's the use? In trying to improve my posture, trying to exercise. Instead of that, because then that becomes your focus and you become isolated. That's when I think older people sometimes become isolated. What's the use? They think my voice can't even be heard in this world. It's not true. Dr. Shelly and I know for certain that it's not true. And it's like my world has opened up after I lost 120 pounds and I turned 60. My world began to open, not because it couldn't have opened up before, but because suddenly I changed my mindset and realized if my life was going to change, it was going to be up to me. And I think and so Dr. Shelly, tell me, when you wake up in the morning, what gets you up on fire and excited about the day?
First thing, I wake up and I don't just jump out of bed. So I'm going to tell you what I do. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I say, thank you for this day. Because when I was diagnosed, there wasn't, that wasn't assuredness. So it's like, thank you for this day, and appreciating the fact that I did wake up.
Right.
Which sounds funny, but
it's simple, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Thank God for this day. Yeah.
Absolutely. And gratitude, I will tell you, I'm going to skip off a subject for just a second about what I do when I get up, but gratitude is really important. So I do that first thing in the morning, but when I go to sleep at night, I don't know if you're going to ask me about that, but when I go to bed at night, I do a gratitude list every single night in my head. I go, what am I grateful for? And I do an A to Z gratitude list every single night.
Oh my gosh, A to Z?
So I think about, so what starts with A that I'm grateful for? And sometimes it's people's names. Like I had a dear friend named Anne. So maybe today I'm grateful for Anne. What starts with B? Oh, babies. Babies make me happy. So it could be general, it could be specific, but I do A to Z. Now, X was a little problem for me, but I had radiation, which helped save my life. So my X is X-rays.
Wow.
So I do it every night. So gratitude is important. Sorry?
Do you sleep? Do you fall asleep sometimes doing it? Which would be beautiful to me.
You know what's funny? Yes. What's funny is I I've been doing it for so long that I think unless my world is really like crazy that day, my brain goes, oh, she's doing that again. Well, good night. And I don't get all the way through. But when my kids were little and they couldn't sleep, when they were old enough, when they were younger, I didn't do the alphabet. But when they were old enough to do it, they'd say, Mom, I can't sleep. And I'd say, okay, do a gratitude list, A to Z. And if they got to Z and they still couldn't sleep, the trick is to say, okay, now I want you to do a gratitude list Z back to A, which means your brain has to think of what comes before W. I don't remember. And it has to sort of figure that out. And it's thinking of that instead of you should have done this today. You shouldn't have done that today. What did you, all the things that our brain starts to tell us that makes us not sleep. So I've never had myself or my kids, who are now grown, ever get all the way back to A again.
Right.
Because your brain goes, oh, good night.
What a practical tool. So I'm all about practical tools for my audience out there. So there's a practical tool if you're having trouble sleeping at night. But I would like
just A to Z.
Yes, I would like you to also talk. You say you have 4 pillars of natural health. Natural health. So name the 4 pillars and tell us a little bit about them.
So one is feeding your body, nutrition. So putting the right things into your body. So that, and that's going to mean different things for different people. For me, that means no sugar ever. I don't eat grains. I eat organic produce. I do eat meats, but I eat clean meat, which means grass-fed and grass-finished. And I've learned a lot about, just because it says it's grass-fed doesn't mean it's grass-finished. Sometimes they feed them grain at the end. So learning about nutrition and feeding your body correctly so that it has the best chance to do what it needs to do for you. So nutrition is one thing. It includes things like staying hydrated. There's a whole lot of things that go into each of these, obviously. Supplementing the things what I need to supplement with, and knowing when to change those things up. Like if it's more of a stressful time, what do I eat or not eat or supplement with or not supplement with, those kind of things. So one is feeding your body and giving it good nutrition. One is moving your body. So moving, we have to move our bodies. So you don't have to go out and do a Spartan race tomorrow, but you have to get up off the couch. And if you can't get up off the couch, if you physically can't get up off the couch, then do what you can. Can you move your arms? Can you if you don't have little weights at your house, can you take 2 cans of soup and use them as weights? I mean, there are ways that we can get around a lot of different things.
Absolutely.
Can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just so moving your body when I'm talking to people, it means, well, all of these is start where you are. Let's start where you are. Let's not have you like do the perfect diet starting tomorrow and then go on forever. Let's do one thing and start it tomorrow. Doing the moving your body doesn't mean go out and run a marathon tomorrow. What can we do today? And then how can we add a little bit to it the next day? There's a book, I can't remember the author, but it's called The Slight Edge. And he talks about if you do one little thing today and then do another little thing tomorrow and then another little thing, imagine what happens after a month. So yes. I remember when I was young, there was a story of, I don't know if it's a made-up story, probably was, but about a man who lived on a ranch, or a boy or whatever, who lived on a ranch, and he had a calf. And so when the calf was born, he lifted it up and to move it or whatever he had to do. And every day he lifted up this calf, every single day. And pretty soon the calf wasn't just a baby, it was a bull, but he had been doing it every single day.
Right.
So we would look at him and go, oh my gosh, that man is lifting a bull. Well, yeah, but he didn't start by lifting the bull. He started by lifting the calf. So what do we do every day that makes a difference?
Right.
In nutrition, in moving, in our mind, in our gratitude list. Okay, I forgot to do, didn't do all the ways. It doesn't matter. What did you do? I did a gratitude list of 5 things. Okay, fine. Whatever. And how can you make that different?
Yeah, because it becomes accumulative eventually.
Exactly.
You just keep building and building, and it does make a difference.
It makes a difference. So for my birthday was in March 6th, so not too long ago. But my husband, I asked for one of those little bars that you put above the door frame that you can do pull-ups with. So I have really, even so, I've been through the races and all that, I have very poor upper body strength at this point. So I said, I'm just going to do it every time I pass the thing, that doorway, I'm going to just lift myself up and do it. And I started literally at a second. I went up and okay, I'm down. And then I thought, can I hold myself up for a minute or a second and a half? And, now I'm up to 6 seconds in the last few days. Where I can jump up on the chin-up bar and then stay up.
Right. I think that is really a practical tip. I think I might get one of those bars. But see, this is how I look at it, is I think women particularly have more difficulty with upper body because we just don't use that as much as men do. So that little tip in having one of those bars is great because it doesn't.
I want people to be careful though. Be careful, put a stool under it, that I'm really, really cautious. And I had my husband spot me for the first 2 or 3 times I did it just to see, so I didn't fall down and, hurt myself. So just start small. That's all I'm telling people. And if you don't want to get one of those bars, find something else. Lift a couple of cans of soup.
Yes.
And do 20 reps of lifting the soup. And then make it, if it's a pound can of soup or a 16-ounce can, then go to a bigger can. So we don't have to go out and buy anything. We don't have to do anything like that. We can find things at home that we can do with it. But just start where you are. The whole point is, I think sometimes we get so caught up in, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I'll never be able to do this, that we don't even start.
Exactly.
And so part of it is just taking the first step and starting where you are and being okay with that. And then, what I was not really good at before that I've learned to be better at is to congratulate yourself. Yay, you did a second. Hooray, you did a second. You did something.
Wow. Yes.
I always thought I have to be able to stay up there for 2 minutes before I'm good. No, you stayed up there 2 seconds. Yes. Great, good job,
Right.
And I think especially as women that we don't do that enough for ourselves. We don't say, yes, this is okay for today. This is good. Good job.
Yeah, we often have a hard time celebrating the little wins, and that's what I would call a little win. And we need to celebrate. So we're off to the next one, and I can't do this and I can't do that. So if we switch it around to small baby steps, like Dr. Shelly's saying, maybe in food, that there are different things that you can do in incremental steps, like not having wine on the weekdays, or not, there's just little steps. If we learn to take the baby steps and have some kind of success in